Imagine you're floating in the dark void of space, staring at the massive swirling storm below. Jupiter, the king of the planets, a world so large that over 1,300 Earths could fit inside it. A planet with no solid ground, no surface to land on, just an endless, crushing abyss of gas, storms, and unimaginable pressure. Now, picture yourself stepping off the edge, beginning a freefall into this gas giant. At first, nothing feels different. The atmosphere looks almost welcoming, a soft golden glow reflecting from Jupiter's swirling clouds. But within seconds, gravity takes hold. Jupiter's immense pull accelerates you faster and faster. Soon, you're plummeting at over 60 kilometers per second. That's nearly 216,000 kilometers per hour. There's no turning back now. But what happens next? Do you pass straight through the planet, swallowed by its dense atmosphere? Do you crash into something deep inside? Or does Jupiter consume you in a way more terrifying than you could have ever imagined? To answer that, we're about to take a journey like no other. A one-way trip into the heart of the solar system's most mysterious world. Let's begin our descent. Chapter 1. Entering Jupiter's atmosphere. The moment you cross into Jupiter's atmosphere, everything around you changes. There's no solid entry point, no clear boundary, just an invisible veil between space and the chaotic world below. Unlike Earth, where a blue sky would greet you, here, you plunge straight into an endless sea of swirling clouds. At first, the descent feels almost peaceful. You're gliding through the upper atmosphere, where temperatures are a frigid -234 degrees Fahrenheit. It's colder than anywhere on Earth, and the air is mostly hydrogen and helium, completely unbreathable. But before you even have time to adjust, the real descent begins. Jupiter's gravity is 2.5 times stronger than Earth's, pulling you down with terrifying force. Within seconds, you're speeding towards the planet at faster than a bullet. The thin, wispy upper clouds soon give way to a dense, churning atmosphere. The pressure starts to build, and the winds pick up. Then, suddenly, you hear something. A distant roar, growing louder. The sound is coming from below, and it's unlike anything you've ever heard. You're heading straight into Jupiter's violent storms. The clouds around you start twisting and swirling with hurricane force winds, and before you can react, you're pulled into the most terrifying storm in the solar system, the Great Red Spot. Chapter 2. The Endless Storm. You've entered the Great Red Spot, a storm so massive it could swallow Earth whole. This swirling vortex has raged for over 350 years, and no one knows when or if it will ever stop. As you descend, the winds howl at 700 kilometers per hour, faster than any hurricane on Earth. The thick, churning clouds spin violently, tossing you around like a rag doll. You try to steady yourself, but there's no sense of direction anymore. Up and down blur together. Then, lightning strikes. A blinding flash illuminates the storm for a brief second. But this isn't like the lightning on Earth. These bolts are 100 times more powerful, stretching thousands of kilometers across the sky. The energy unleashed in just one strike could power an entire city. The deeper you fall, the darker it gets. The sun, once a distant beacon in the sky, is now just a dim glow above the thickening clouds. Below, the atmosphere becomes a deep, suffocating red, then shifts to a murky brown, then total blackness. You are now trapped in Jupiter's eternal storm, with no sky, no ground, and no way out. But something strange is happening. The air is getting heavier, thicker, almost liquid-like. You're no longer just falling through gas. You're sinking into something far more dangerous. Chapter 3. The pressure becomes unbearable. The deeper you fall, the more Jupiter's atmosphere starts to feel alien, almost like a different world inside a world. The air itself is no longer just air. It's turning into something denser, thicker, heavier. At 50 kilometers below the clouds, the pressure is already as intense as the deepest ocean trenches on Earth. Your body would be feeling the crushing force. But this is just the beginning. Then, something even more bizarre happens. The cold, swirling gas around you suddenly starts heating up. At 160 kilometers down, the temperature is no longer freezing. It's now a scorching 1340 degrees Fahrenheit. Hotter than Venus, hot enough to melt lead. You're still nowhere near the core, but the immense pressure is compressing the hydrogen and helium gases, making them behave in ways that don't exist on Earth. The deeper you go, the more crushing the force becomes. At 1,000 kilometers down, the air is as dense as water. You are no longer falling, you are sinking. This is where the true nightmare begins. The increasing weight of Jupiter's atmosphere is now pressing down you from all directions. It's like being buried beneath thousands of deep-sea trenches all at once. If you weren't already dead from the heat, your body would be crushed instantly by the unimaginable pressure. But let's say, somehow, you had an indestructible suit that could withstand all of this. Would you keep falling forever? Not quite, because what's below is something never before seen on Earth: liquid metallic hydrogen, one of the strangest substances in the universe. And you're sinking straight into it. Chapter 4. Reaching the metallic hydrogen layer. By now, you are no longer in what could be called an atmosphere. Jupiter has transformed from a gas giant into something entirely different, a deep ocean of alien materials, unlike anything found on Earth. At around 2,000 kilometers down, the pressure has become so extreme that it crushes normal hydrogen gas into a liquid. This strange metallic substance doesn't behave like the water in Earth's oceans. It conducts electricity, reflects light like metal, and creates Jupiter's powerful magnetic field, the strongest in the solar system. At this depth, the heat is unbearable, more than 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit, nearly as hot as the surface of the sun. The crushing pressure is now millions of times stronger than Earth's atmosphere, enough to turn gas into liquid, and liquid into something even stranger. If you somehow survived in your indestructible suit, you would now be sinking through a bizarre ocean of metallic hydrogen, surrounded by a glowing, superheated plasma, with violent electrical currents surging all around you. And yet, you still haven't reached the bottom. The deeper you go, the thicker and more metallic the hydrogen becomes. It's not a gas anymore, not even a liquid. It's something entirely new. A superfluid sea of metallic hydrogen, stretching for thousands of kilometers. And below this, possibly, the greatest mystery of all, Jupiter's core. But does it even exist? Chapter 5. The unknown core. You are now deeper inside Jupiter than any probe has ever reached. Below you there is nothing but darkness, pressure, and heat beyond imagination. At this point, scientists aren't entirely sure what lies ahead. Jupiter's core is one of the greatest mysteries of the solar system. Does it have a solid center? Or does the crushing pressure dissolve everything into an exotic, superheated soup? If a core exists, it would likely be a strange mix of rock, metals, and exotic ice, squeezed into a form unlike anything we've ever seen. The temperature here would be a staggering 43,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than the surface of the sun. If you were still somehow alive, you would be trapped in a swirling, superheated, high-pressure hell. You wouldn't land on anything solid. Instead, you would be absorbed, crushed into the dense, chaotic mixes of materials at Jupiter's heart. becoming just another part of the planet. And if there is no solid core, then you would sink forever into an endless abyss, lost in a planet with no surface, no ground, and no escape. So, what happens when you fall into Jupiter? The answer is simple. You disappear. Jupiter isn't just a gas giant. It's a planet of extremes, where the atmosphere burns, crushes, and electrifies everything that enters it. There is no landing, no bottom, no rescue. The deeper you go, the stranger and deadlier it becomes. It is a planet where falling means falling forever. But the mystery remains. What exactly is at its core? Future missions like NASA's Juno spacecraft continue to search for answers. Until then, Jupiter will remain the great abyss of our solar system, a world that swallows everything that dares to enter. Would you ever take that leap? If you enjoyed this journey into Jupiter's depths, make sure to subscribe for more deep space explorations. Where should we fall into next? Let me know in the comments.